man said he went up on his father and he cursed him out. He hated his father because his mother told him that his father wasn't there for him and his father didn't like him. Imagine the power that some women have to destroy their young boy. Imagine that he said his father started yelling at him and crying at the same time. Imagine the anger and the heartbreak of his father. Somebody who's rendered powerless through our court systems, rendered powerless to a man, almost have enough rage to hit his son just because he has the mindset of his mother. He has the energy and the rage of his mother because his mother lied to him. Imagine how empty that make a child feel, thinking that somebody that probably look, walk, act, talk. Imagine a child going through life feeling like that person didn't want me and it was all a lie. Do you guys realize the mental torment that is for a man? For his son to come up on him and say, F you, or be disrespectful when a man knew that we were trying and all of us tried. But sometimes you get that woman that say, you got to respect me. No, I don't like you. I don't got to respect you. All I got to do is say, where the time, where the date. I don't got to disrespect you either. We can just stay away. It's about the kids, remember? It's about the kids, remember? And I've talked to many aunties. I've talked to many women. And when a woman gets like that, the only advice another woman gives you is just to keep fighting. You just go ahead and keep fighting. You know why? Because those women know when a woman gets like that, there's nothing you can do about it. When a woman gets to the point where she's worried about herself over her children, that is the most destructive mentality and the most destructive behavior that you're going to see. Because not only are you affecting and probably hindering a man's life, but you're hindering and destroying your own children's life. And you're causing unnecessary trauma to your own life. And that's sad. And that's not an attack on all women, because I notice when you say something about a sector of women that we all know do this type of stuff, we all have women, we all have friends. Hell, I got a homegirl that do it. And I'll be the one encouraging her, don't do him like that. Fuck him, he don't come around. I like, look at the way you talking. Who the fuck want to come around? I try to be that objective friend, like, damn, you can't. She already a tall woman. You already tall. He already don't want to go to jail. He not coming around you when you acting like that. Yeah, but them his kids. But look at what you doing and saying. What you doing and saying can get this man arrested. He is not going to come with you behaving like that. So you want this man to come see his children. Why don't you calm yourself down and whatever emotions you have for him, whatever reason that got you talking like that, figure that out first. And then allow him to come around and I guarantee you'll see a change. Yeah, but I said, well, goddamn, I'm about to go.
Welcome back, good people. It's your boy Quick Kicks. That clip right there from Kwame Brown. The reason why I wanted to show you guys that clip is because a lot of the things that he's saying is true, but the reason why that specific part I can tell you is true, something that a lot of you don't know about me, but I worked for the Child Support Enforcement Unit for over a decade. Don't work there anymore, but I worked there and I literally heard everything under the sun. Started off as a customer service representative. It was just when it was starting out back in like 2004. Got promoted to a supervisor, and then after that got promoted to a manager. And that process, those steps, I literally heard everything under the sun, from when I was on a phone call and I a woman was giving me her information to start off a child support case. The non-custodial parent was there and started assaulting her while I was on the phone with her, which was one of the scariest things that I've ever encountered. We had to contact the local police in their area. I believe it was in the Bronx, and thank God they got to her before, you know, she was really hurt. But that was one of the scariest things. From a situation like that to speaking to a young lady on the phone who the only information that she had about the custodial parent or about the father of the child was his name was Mike, and he drove a BMW with 4 doors. That was literally all the information that she was able to provide. So when I tell you I've heard everything, I have literally heard everything. But what Kwame is saying in this is absolutely true. The court system, the child support system is not in any way, shape, or form for the man, period. I don't care if he's the custodial or non-custodial parent. When he's seen in that court or in front of that magistrate, he's considered a non-custodial parent. I can give you a prime example. One time I was listening to a transcript. I can remember distinctly this judge was literally chewing this guy out. The arrears, I believe, was over $22,000. And the judge, before the person could even say anything, the judge was literally chewing him out. Now, the man in this case happened to be the custodial parent. So he was the person who was owed the money. $20-something thousand. The female hadn't made a payment in like over a year and change. But even beyond that, when the judge shifted the attention over to the female, it wasn't the same energy. That in itself told me that this system is specifically for women. And I hate to be the one to say that. I hate to make it seem like it's like a woman against God thing, but in reality, in total reality, it really is. There's nowhere in that system where it's set up for the man to succeed. There's nowhere in the system, even if, you know, if he making less money, he has to go to court to get a modification, which can take 3 months. So, which in that time frame, arrears are building, they taking stuff away from you. Yes, when you get to court, they're going to change it or whatever, but that's going to be 3 months away. By then, they can have your license, they can have a lien on your bank account. There are so many actions that could be taking place in the course of that time. The process that they go through, a man goes through with child support, is completely unfair. And even if he does everything correct, that still doesn't allow him visitation, because he has to go through another court system to get visitation. It's not all inclusive unless it's a divorce decree, which means it would be stated in there. But in other scenarios, he has to go through a different court system to get visitation. So in reality, when you're dealing with someone who may be hostile, a lot of times they may be hostile for right reasons, but some men aren't built to deal with that. But the other side of that is, a child is a lifetime commitment, no matter what you may be thinking or whatever the relationship status is. A child is a lifetime commitment, which means both parents need to be in that child's life, regardless if one parent doesn't like the other parent or doesn't feel the other parent is providing the all of the necessary means. Not everyone is vindictive, so this doesn't always happen. But a lot of times, somebody may miss 1 or 2 payments, and we would get calls, and the person wanted to like do everything under the sun for like 2 payments. It's like okay, it's 2 payments. Let's try and figure out what's happening before we go through enforcement actions, which we used to do. So before we went to the lien process and things like that, we would run the Social Security check. Come to find out, the person got a new job. So the person gets a new job. So there's going to be, there's going to be a pay lapse. They didn't send the money in themselves, which they are instructed to do. They should send the money in themselves. But if they don't, then it comes out of their paycheck. the thing is that in that time frame where the 2 payments are missed, and then the custodial parent calls back and we tell her, oh, he got a new job, so the payments are going to come in. We're going to add this amount on, so this way it compensates for the risk. Oh, he gets more money. All right, so I want to get more money in my child support. So, like, you're not really worried about the child. You just worried about the money. And yes, some guys are POSs. That is the absolute truth. But in a lot of cases, you know, how much opportunity are you giving? How much opportunity is he given? How much of that is the bitterness of the other person? Like, in a lot of cases that I've seen, a lot of people just sound very vindictive. And I've heard grown men crying on the phone because someone wouldn't let them see their children because they missed a payment. And there was nothing we can do for them. That's just not right. I get it. The person missed a payment. They may be going through a hard time. Every time somebody does something doesn't mean you come with the harshest penalty. You know, like I said, the system is not set up for men at all. And women have to notice that by now. Everyone has to notice that by now. But it won't be recognized because there are too many bad apples in the bunch. Which means that, you know, the community that we have now needs to step up and make sure that our seeds are stepping up to do the right things. But along with that, we need to have some type of understanding between mothers and fathers. Because I don't really believe there's a such thing as co-parenting. Co-parenting means there's equal share. If the child is living with one person for the majority of the time, there's no co in that. Because that child is absorbing that person, that traits of that particular person on them more than the other. Now, what they choose to be at the end is a different story, but in that time frame, children are very adaptive. So whoever they're around, that's usually who they emulate. The system is unfair. I'm just going off of what I have seen, my personal experience, and I'm listening to what this guy's saying. Situations could be resolved a lot easier with less stress if we are a little bit more inclined to listen and understand and give and have forgiveness, rather than, you know, go for the jugular when, you know, the slightest thing happens. That just hit me because I know how unfair the child support, at least in New York, I know how the child support system is unfair in New York. I've seen it. I've countless times I've seen how unfair it is. But hopefully we as men can step up and be in our households more. You know, we can maybe not steer towards that if we can agree on something privately. Because that's another thing that a lot of people do. They do things privately, which, you know, you don't need the government in your business. Like, that's just the truth. And then if the person isn't compliant, then you could go to court. But if you do it privately, keep it out the government's business. You keep it between each other. You keep a relationship open. You're not putting a middleman in between that's using different things to manipulate the situation. That's just my opinion. Like, if you can do it where you're with, you and the person can sit down and say, hey, listen, we're not together, but we do have a child together, and this, that, and the other, you know, we need to work together to do this. That's all I'm saying. That's how I feel about the situation. If you could work it out between yourself, don't go through the court system. The system is not there for the man, and it's just going to cause more havoc in this relationship between the both of you, which ultimately affects the child. And if we are here for the children, that's what matters the most. But hey, thanks again for joining. It's your boy Quick Kicks. I really appreciate you guys again. I'm going to get to the sneakers again later, but this just touched me because I know how unfair the system is. I have a brother that's going through it, so I know how unfair it is. But sorry to give information like that out, bro, but I love you. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining again. Quick Kick, Sneaker v Sneaker. We out. Peace.